can fly.
Yo guys, what's going on? Johnny here. Hope everyone is staying nice and healthy and hope everyone is having a great time. Today we are going to be talking about body composition. I know we've already done a video on weight maintenance about body weight gain, body weight loss, but in this video we're going to be talking more in depth about the science and nutrition behind body composition. Often as a result, because of us doing body composition methods, a result of it could be weight gain or weight loss. But before we get into the science behind body composition, let's just talk in general about body composition. So before you embark on any body composition goal, always ask yourself why you want to go and achieve these certain goals. For example, if it's about gaining muscle, maybe it's about because you want to increase your muscle strength and your power. Or you want to lose fat but maintain your muscles so that you're a more efficient machine on the pitch. You're probably more agile, you're more explosive, for example. For example, good example maybe Ousmane Dembele. When he was in Barca, he was a lot more injury prone. He looked like at the moment that he's gained a few pounds in terms of muscle, and he seems a lot more powerful and stronger when playing for PSG. So for him, maybe his body composition goal was to gain muscle, to increase his muscle strength and power. Whatever your goal is, whether it's to gain weight or to lose weight, ask yourself why, and go ahead and ask, for example, if you're in team sport environment, ask your coach or your performance team that's around you as well, and see what they think too. The danger comes is when your goal might be because it's all about pure body image. You want to go and look like the next Cristiano Ronaldo or something, and you're afraid that if you don't achieve that, then probably you're not going to perform as well. The thing is when we have this sort of desire to want to attain this certain body image, is that sometimes this might lead to developing eating disorders such as anorexia nervosa or bulimia nervosa. We all have this sort of compulsive desire to always lose weight and look thin. But this might come at the cost of you, for example, being overall underfueled. You're always hungry during the day, you're constantly eating, constantly snacking, you're thinking, I've got this really high metabolism in it with me, because your body just simply doesn't have enough energy reserves or fat, stored fat, to help support maintaining this muscle. For me personally, when I was 55 kilos and I went on my bulking phase to up to 70 kilos, I definitely felt a lot stronger on the ball and also more confident. However, because it was this sort of dirty bulk, which gave me both muscle and fat, I also definitely felt slower and less explosive on the ball. So the next thing I did was to lose the fat while maintaining my muscle, because that's an important part of playing football or any sport as well. There is no single ideal value for your body weight or percentage muscle or percentage fat that you should have. For example, we do have a table, for example, which suggests that maybe in men, 5 to 10% of body fat, aged around 18 to 40 years of age, is considered athletic. For women, that may be around 8 to 15% body fat. For footballers around age 18 to 40, we're looking around 7 to 15% for men, and for women, 13 to 20%. But again, these are all just guidelines and suggested values as to what could mean as athletic or footballer or any classification. But there is no single value that you should need to achieve in order for you to help you get your body composition goal. Okay, so now let's talk about the science behind body composition. Unfortunately, body composition requires both nutrition and exercise. It's not either or. You need both your nutrition and your exercise as well. Now, genetics will play a role as well. Take, for example, Jack Grealish and his calf. That size of the calf. I believe he said it was like, on his father's side, his father was working a lot and his calf is quite big, whereas on his mother's side, it's not that big as well. So genetics might play a role in this too. When talking about body composition, this goes beyond just numbers on a scale. Often, the number on the weight scale is a result of your body composition. So, for example, if we're gaining muscle, we might see an increase in that number. And if we're losing fat, then we might see a decrease in the number. But this is just a number on the scale. And often we want to do body composition because of some sort of performance outcome. So looking at the number on the scale, that's not telling you much about how you're actually performing on the pitch. Are you running faster? Are you more confident on the ball? Are you more explosive? How are your feet? Are you more agile? Are you more quick-footed, fast-footed, or anything like that? The number on the weight scale, if you keep looking at that, that's not going to tell you anything in terms of what your overall body composition and your performance is doing. Now, before we keep on going further as well, body composition can can be a factor towards impacting on your performance, but your body composition alone will not directly mean that your performance goes up or down. It's a factor, it will play in part of your performance as well, but does not mean that, for example, if I achieve this certain body composition goal, I am this percentage body fat or whatever it is, that means my performance will be directly impacted as well. There may be other things too, as we know in performance, how much you're fueling yourself, your sleep, your recovery, and all of this sort of stuff. So body composition is just one aspect towards impacting on your overall performance. Now, there are a lot of different methods we can use to assess body composition. Your most expensive one, the hardest one for most of the general public to be able to come and access, is this machine known as the DEXA machine. This is sort of like it's not really gold standard, but like your top scenario. If you could access this machine, you're getting most accurate data in terms of percentage body fat, percentage muscle, and your bone density as well. So sometimes this machine is also used not just in an athletic population, but also in just health and general health and well-being too. Your next one, we have BodPod. If you remember the YouTuber Chunks, when you're wearing that tight swimming cap, you're inside this capsule with pretty much very minimal clothing on, and it just scans you around you and gives you data on all of your body fat and body muscle and all of this stuff as well. We do then have also your humble skin fold, so using the skin fold calipers to assess using some equations and stuff like this too. It spits out how much estimates perhaps how much body fat and how much muscle our body might contain. If we can't have access to any of these things, then we would go for more of your subjective measures. Like, for example, on your subjective performance measures, like how do you actually feel on the ball? Do I feel faster, stronger, more powerful? This might be an indication as to you achieving your body composition goals. If you don't have access to those skin folds or BodPod or DEXA machine. Now, when we're talking about body composition, we're talking about a physiological change in our body. When it's about bulking up cleanly and gaining muscle, our body is undergoing a process known as muscle hypertrophy, otherwise put simply, an increase in our overall muscle size. When talking about losing fat, our body is losing its stored fat because we're in a calorie deficit. When we do resistance training, we produce a force onto our muscles, which then activates a cascade of these chemical signaling pathways in our body to help our body rebuild and recomposition. When we also add nutrition on top of with adequate protein, carbs, fats, and energy, then we're helping to support our body rebuild itself. And that's why we need both nutrition and exercise. It's not either or, it's both of it. If you nail your nutrition and nail your resistance training too, that's going to help us achieve our body composition goals. So now, let's talk about the nutrition side of things. How do we go about, for example, bulking up? In terms of energy, increasing our energy intake to about plus 300, an additional 300 to 500 calories. There will be some degree of fat gained because we're in a surplus as well. But if we add on the resistance training too, most of it will be muscle. And make sure that we're having the energy surplus more so from your protein, more so than your carbs and your fats. So now protein. The important thing about protein to remember is about the timing, the amount, and the quality of protein that we're doing. If you remember in this reel here that we were talking about, these three things are important to help you achieve your body composition goals. So in terms of the amount, we're looking for a total of 1.6 to 2 grams per kilo of our body weight per day. Now, in terms of the timing, we used to really always think that the timing, spreading out the protein evenly throughout the day was important to help us achieve these goals. However, shout out to Compete Academy right here. There is new evidence to suggest that actually if we forget one of our protein snacks, for example, if we throughout the day we're not splitting it 6 meals, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, and for example, you've missed one, and in your next meal you're having maybe 40 grams, that 40 grams will help to spread out throughout the rest of the day to help keep getting you into that positive protein balance and keep building your muscle. So to put it simply, if, for example, you're not able to spread that protein evenly throughout the day, and in the end, you're achieving your 1.6, your total amount of protein that your body needs in that day, that is good just as well. So if, for example, your thing is not as evenly spread as it could be, because there might be some circumstances, you're at work, you've missed out on a snack, it's so busy, you're not eating as well as you can, that's okay. Remembering the quality of protein is important, so amount of leucine. We want these proteins that are high in this amino acid called leucine. So all of your red meats, your animal proteins have this and are high in this amino acid known as leucine. Post-workout, aiming for around 0.4 grams per kilo of your body weight is ideal. So that's roughly around, if you're weighing around 70 kilos, you're looking at around 30 grams of protein after your workout. So that could be your post-workout meal, protein shake or something. That's a good thing to have to help you get into that positive protein balance to help your body build up its muscle. Sometimes we might like to be doing training in the evening or quite a short time before our bedtime. If this is the case, definitely having protein before bed really helps as well. And just in general, having protein before your bedtime will help achieve your body composition goals. Looking for around 0.5 to 0.6 grams per kilo of your body weight just before bed. Now, fat is important as well. 20 to 30% of our daily energy intake, no less than 10%. We used to always think that fat was the enemy, carbs were the enemy, and we just needed to focus on getting protein, calorie deficit or calorie surplus, whatever body composition goal you're trying to achieve, and that was it. But that came at the expense of, having chicken salads, chicken and rice with your broccoli and that. That wasn't balanced at all. You were cutting out all of these other food groups, for example. So it's still so important. It's not just protein and energy now. Consider your fats and consider your carbs as well. You need to have these all in because it's not just about your body composition. It's also overall your health as well. Your fats, your body needs a degree of fat as well for all of your cells, for your healthy growth and development too. Your body needs a degree of fat. If we cut it out, that's not helping your body at all. Carbs, especially if you're a football player as well, you're doing it in the off season, make sure we're adjusting our carbs as well. Your in season compared to your off season will impact on how much carbs and how much energy we're having. So typically for a football player, we like to do body composition goals within the off season or perhaps in the pre-season as well. During this time, carbohydrates we cut down to suggested nearly less than 4 grams per kilo of our body weight. We still need carbs, but we don't need to cut out our core food groups. And now the same thing applies to losing weight too. All of that nutrition, the only thing is that your energy Instead of it being an additional 300 to 500 calories, we want to be having 300 to 500 calories less than what our body would need to help it maintain weight. With this value, we're trying to help maintain as much as we can of our muscle tone while losing our fat mass. If we go dangerously low, too much of a calorie deficit, this might come at the expense of, for example, losing your muscle tone, losing a lot of weight very rapidly, but then you yourself regaining a lot of that weight too, because it's not sustainable. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope to see you again in the next one.